message. Live now, Chair. Very much.
Thank you. Good morning, members, officers, and any members of the public in the public gallery or viewing the live stream. Welcome to this meeting of the Grants Advisory Committee. My name is Councillor Sue Ellington, and I am usually the Vice Chair of the Grants Advisory Committee. However, the usual Chair, Councillor Jose, is not with us today, so I will be chairing this meeting. Those in the room are reminded that the meeting is being live streamed, and as we are not actually in the chamber, we will endeavour to remember to identify ourselves in order to make sure that you know who's speaking. May I ask anyone joining us remotely to ensure their cameras and microphones remain off unless they're addressing the committee. Right, Lawrence, can we have apologies for absence, please?
Thank you, Chair. So 2 apologies for absence today, one from Councillor Sunita Hansraj and the other from Councillor Jose Hales, as you stated. Councillor Dr. Martin Carnes kindly stepped in as substitute today.
Thank you. Would it be advisable if we just identified ourselves, seeing as we don't have the live?
I think that's a great idea, Chair.
Okay. Dr. Khan, would you like to?
Hello, Councillor Martin Carn, member for Histon and Impington.
Leslie McFarlane, Development Officer for Health and Wellbeing.
Where is it going?
Emma Dyer, Development Officer in the Communities team. Thank you.
Jane Mounsing, Project Officer in the Development team, in the Communities team.
Councillor Peter Sandford, one of the members for Keston and Papworth Ward.
Bill Handley, one of the members for Over and Willingham.
And Lawrence Damari Hyman, Democratic Services Officer for the committee.
Thank you. Item 1 we've dealt with. 2 declarations of interest. Do any members have interest to declare in relation to any item on this agenda? Lawrence.
So slightly unusual situation, as obviously I'm not a decision maker, but I am an active member of Little Shelford Cricket Club, board member, etc. Given that the club has submitted an application, whilst I'm not required to withdraw following consultation with chair and other parties, I think I will step out of the room while you discuss that application.
Thank you. Any other declarations? Right. Right, moving on to the minutes of the previous meeting. Has everybody read the minutes, or would you like me to do it page by page?
I can't comment on the minutes because I wasn't at the previous meeting.
Right.
I'll abstain, whatever.
Anybody else?
They look accurate to me.
No. So can I sign these?
Yeah.
Correct record.
If I may, I have an amendment to bring to members. Regrettably, we had 2 applications from Camborne Church. I've omitted one from the minutes, and if possible, it would be great to amend them to reflect that the £425 application from Camborne Church for the bereavement cafe, which is referenced GZKLMCHT, was approved by the committee.
Thank you. Are we happy that that amendment should be included?
Just for clarity, it was included in the decision notice and the funding has been granted. Yeah.
Fine. Yeah. So we've done minutes. So I've got approval for that. Any public questions?
None received, Chair.
Good. Right, moving on to item 5, which is the community growing small grants. Can I?
That's me.
That's you. Leslie.
So as part of the council's approach to address the cost of living crisis, we wanted to help establish a sustainable food network to help people access locally sourced food, or even get communities involved in growing their own. So to help achieve this, we have created a small grant to help support community growing projects. So local groups and organisations can apply for grants of up to £500, and this is to help set up their own projects. So the funds can be spent on buying capital equipment such as forks, spades, compost seeds, shovels, and for the purpose of sort of any small community projects. It could be raised beds, or it could be just turning over a piece of community land. We've set aside £5,000, which should help fund 10 new projects. But if there is demand that's greater than that, then we've got the potential to extend that grant or the budget. So what we're asking GAP today really is to approve the scheme, so that we can help you next week, which follows on from the Good to Grow week that's happening this week. Any
Thank you.
questions?
I had one question, if I may, and that is that you're going to make a decision within 2 weeks of getting an application. Now, how is that process going to work within this committee, which only meets once a month?
So it will be an officer decision. So the because the funds are small, the application will arrive. We are planning to score each of the questions out of 10, and then what we'll do is at the end of each month we'll bring back to GAC the decision-making process for you.
I saw Councillor Sanford first.
I think I was first. Groups can apply. Have we actually defined which groups, or is it pretty much open?
It's open. It's a community group, but if they're not constituted in any way, they would have to go via their parish council. So we would be asking the parish council to support them, and any funds that are transferred would need to go to the parish council and not to the group directly.
Will you be reporting the decisions to Grants Committee after the end?
Yes, we will at the end of each month.
Any other comments?
Just to say that there's a need for speed on this, isn't there? That's the point. The condition of the grant funding is that the money is drawn down quickly, which is why
Absolutely.
this officers are proposing this route.
Yeah.
I think we're also mindful of the fact as well that it's spring, so if people want to get things going, now is actually
Absolutely.
Agreed entirely. So, any other comments? Anybody, are we content to go forward with this?
Good.
All right, Bill?
Yes, absolutely. I'm a bit reluctant to say too much because, of course, I've been involved in the discussions leading up to this because it's come out of the community team.
I think it's a lovely scheme. Let's watch it grow.
Was that an intended pun?
Unintended, I assure you. Okay, so we agree the community growing small grants should go forward. Moving on then to item 6, which is the community chest. And can we hear from Emma? First application.
We've had 4 applications this month, amounting to £7,796.06. Just to flag that we've got a 2% inflationary uplift for the main community test pot and the biodiversity pot. The other 2 funds that we have in the community-led plans and the cost of living funds are being rolled over. So on to page 19, we have the first Hardwick and Highfields Scout group. That is attended by around 85 young people in 3 sections, which are the Beavers, Cubs and Scouts. The group own the Scout Hut, along with the local guides group. The land is on a long-term lease from the parish council. We've checked with the applicants, and there's around 70 years left on this to run, so it's quite a long-term lease. And their plans are to improve the insulation and durability of the Scout Hut by cladding the existing wooden building. So funding of £6,320.06, including VAT, is needed for materials and delivery costs, and £2,000 has been requested from the community chest. They have said that the shortfall can be met by themselves. They've done a lot of fundraising in the past, and they will continue to do this. That's all detailed in the application. The parish council are in support, but have said that they do not have any funds to provide towards this. We have support from Councillor Toomey Hawkins and Councillor Lena Nieto. Thank you.
You. Gentlemen. Any thoughts? Come on.
One of the justifications, the improvement of energy efficiency, just seems to be a bit odd that stone cladding would actually have much impact on energy performance. But has that been confirmed? How it will?
I mean, I thought that any kind of additional cladding would obviously help the insulation, draft proofing, and all that kind of stuff. And it sounds like they've, looked into this, and they've considered green options in the past, including electrical timer switches. So that I think it seems like they're quite switched on when it comes to sort of energy efficiency. I can't provide any more, but I believe that it's be good in that respect.
Anybody else?
It's not clear to me who actually owns the building.
So
Is it clear? I missed something.
Yeah, it's the Scouts and the Guides that own the building.
They actually own it.
They own the building, but the land is from owned by the parish council.
Okay.
The long lease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Finn, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's a gap between what's needed and what's requested, with the parish council not contributing of 4,300. Comfortable that Scouts and Guides will actually be able to raise that amount of money.
They have already said that the shortfall can be met by existing money raised by fundraising in the past, but they don't have plans to do more fundraising.
Yeah.
Can I also ask, Chair, what we've done in the past with Scouts and Guides? Have we supported the Scouts and Guides before? Not, it's not. Okay.
So are we content? Let us go forward. Nods from all round. Thank you.
One more question though. Is the community building used by others? Is it just a Scout building?
It's the Guides. I'm not aware of any other groups that use it. I don't think they've put that on the application, have they? No. So
It's like 5 different Scout troops.
there's quite a lot of children that do use it. So
Yes, there's 85 Scouts and it doesn't say how many Guides, but presumably an equal number. Possibly. You never know. Sounds like it's fairly well used. We are agreed. Okay. And the next one.
page 21, we have an application from Bar Hill Memorial Garden Group. They formed in 2009 to resurrect the previous garden that was lost when the worship hall was built. This new garden was all funded by generous donations from the local community, and that includes the parish council and the Nittanapa Group. The present garden is situated between the Octagon and the parish council offices and is owned by the Shared Churches Ely. It is maintained by a team of 11 volunteers and provides a place for the community to come and reflect, including those that have experienced bereavement. Any local resident can buy a plaque for £110. And what they'd like to do is replace the 72 original oak sleepers on the 2 upright beds that are starting to rot. So if you look at the picture, you can see how it sort of, you can see some sort of damage and sort of wear and tear to those sleepers. What will happen is obviously those existing memorial plaques will need to be removed and then obviously put onto the new sleepers. Total costs are £4,400 and £2,000 has been requested from the community chest. And there's a list of the work that obviously is involved in doing that work. They're well on their way to securing the shortfall, and that includes £500 from the parish council, and we have support from Councillor Bunty Waters. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments, gentlemen? My question was, who owns the actual garden? It's maintained by volunteers. Is it a parish council ownership?
Churches in it's a church.
So the Memorial Garden Committee have confirmed that they will be purchasing, owning and maintaining the sleepers. So I believe that would be for the rest of the garden bits, you know, the bits that they put in themselves.
It was just, who's taking ownership of looking after these?
That is the Memorial Garden Committee.
And I have a question. Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
Do we have policy regarding maintenance of existing structures as compared to providing for new generally? Do we expect existing structures to be maintained or rather than this is basically a maintenance rather than improvement? I just wonder what policy was on issues where there's a maintenance rather than an improvement, if there is any. I mean, maybe
Criteria. We always say that, you know, obviously the maintenance, you know, in this case, they would need to purchase, own it and maintain the you know, whatever's purchased, so that there is something in our criteria that sort of mentions the maintenance, but I don't think it goes any sort of further than that, really. I think it's just something that, I mean, they said that they will, but I don't know. I don't think there's anything. Let's be honest.
so it's not conflicting with any current policy. That's what I was really wanting to check on that.
I'm not aware, I'm afraid. I can check, of course.
I suppose my question is, there's this team of volunteers, there's a committee, but do they have what we asked for, a bank account and a properly established organisation, if you see what I mean? That's what I'm trying to get at.
Table in the top says documentation status. So we obviously we check, Jane checks this, that we have safeguarding, we have quotes, we have accounts and a mission statement, and they obviously provide their bank details. Sometimes we get applications from small community groups, and the parish council would hold those funds, and, you know,
Fair enough.
so yeah, this one's fine.
I have to say that 4,400 for the committee or the work that's described here seems a lot of money. I was, when I was scrolling down to start with, I thought, oh, they're going to be asking for 200 quid, you know. 2,000.
Those chunks of wood are quite expensive.
Well, yeah.
17
know that.
oak, 17
Yes.
oak.
And the other thing that slightly worries me is that it's as Councillor Khan said, this is maintenance.
Yes.
And, you know, the parish council would have known that this was deteriorating and they can precept for things. And I'm just a little bit concerned that this is almost passing the buck to us for quite a substantial sum. If it's 200 quid, I wouldn't be talking. I wouldn't be saying anything, but it's £2,000. It's a lot of money. And I'm just not convinced, really, about, sorry, I'm not. I think the parish council should be paying for it.
Is that a
It's a fair,
consensus
it's a fair call.
feeling?
A lot of what they've listed is labour, which presumably the volunteers. It's only sleepers and materials I think they need to pay for. So maybe you need a second quote for materials.
I don't know if we've got John Williams on the line. I don't know if he's
got a feeling
just to speak or maybe just hold his counsel. I don't know.
Sorry,
Good morning.
Emma.
Okay. Good morning. My view on this was that, I mean, we get requests for replacement of, you know, for example, lawnmowers when they need replacing. We get you know, we get asked to fund repairs. You know, people's kitchens need replacing. I don't see any difference between that and what we're being asked to do here. So I was minded to agree to this, and I've yet to see a link between it and the parish council. It's not there. I think people are trying to read a link into it, but at the moment, you know, from the information that Emma's provided, I can't see this link direct to the parish council. But anyway, we do fund, you know, repairs and refurbishments. So it's not a case, you know, that we only fund new things. Anyway, that's my view. So I'm minded to agree to this, but if someone can persuade me otherwise.
Thank you, John. Emma.
I was just about to say the same thing. Obviously, looking at our criteria now, the activity or projects in our criteria, it says that it should be one of the following, which is improvements to community buildings and spaces, or repairs to historic buildings, monuments, or memorials, which obviously is this case. In terms of the parish council, they've provided substantial funding in the past when it was all set up in the full stages. So, yeah.
So are we happy with this?
Yes, I'm not going with it.
Okay.
I would comment that in the light of what I've seen and the fact that it's not actually a parish council, it's the churches that are funding it, and so I really just wanted to check what the policy background was, because I wasn't sure, and in the light of what I've heard, I think, and particularly as half of the funding is actually being provided by their own sources or people that other sources. So.
Thank you very much. So we're agreed to agree to that one. Can we move on? Emma?
Absolutely. So page 23, we have Little Shelford Cricket Club. This has been in existence since 1877 and it operates from the Whale Recreation Grounds. It's got 2 adult cricket teams and 4 junior teams, including 1 girls team. And due to it's been very successful and it is continuing to grow, which is obviously a really good thing. And what they'd like to purchase is a new batting cage and nets. You can see in the picture what this looks like, and this helps to develop players and coach the juniors. It can also be used by visiting teams when they can warm up. Total cost of the cage and net is £1,989.94. And this is being requested, all of this money has been requested from the community chest. This also includes a delivery cost of £189.95. They have said that at the current time there's an offer on this product, but they would like to apply for the maximum cost just in case this online offer expires, and obviously they would refund us if they were funded that difference. The parish council have confirmed they support the project. They do have they have said that they've got nothing left in their budget at the moment to add to it. And yeah, we got support from Councillor Peter Fain and Councillor William Jackson Wood. Thank you. Yeah. Any comments?
I personally think it's a worthy cause, this.
Yeah.
Trying to encourage people to play cricket, particularly young people. It's all for the good.
The only question I had was storage, because obviously it's not going to be out and left on the field 20 for the 12-month period.
I don't know if it if you can sort of collapse it and
It looks like it'll take apart.
It might be. I think
Yeah,
Lawrence would know more than obviously when he comes back. I don't
yes.
know.
Maybe we'll just ask Lawrence, but I just would want to be sure that they aren't going to sit out there and rot in the snow.
The thing is probably, I should imagine it's obviously the metal is probably not going to rust. I should imagine.
I would think they probably pull apart and you
Yeah.
can store them flat, but it is a consideration.
imagine that they dismantle completely into struts and things, so it'd be quite a small net.
I know from
But I don't know. I'm not the quickest.
Livery otherwise, wouldn't it?
I know from football, like children that go attend football clubs, obviously with nets, you have to be careful of rabbits chewing them. So they sometimes, I don't know if this is, yeah, they might need to sort of raise the nets a little bit, perhaps. Well,
Okay, but we're happy with that. We're happy with it.
Yes.
So I'll go back to Lauren. We need some more advice. Just a little bit. And that is storage of the nets during the closed season.
Sorry, just for my clarity, you're asking me as capacity?
Yes.
Okay, so currently at the Whale Recreation Ground, we just have some space offset to the side where the nets just get rolled into. I mean, the product we've gone for is quite durable, very weather resistant, has no impact on the general public's use of the recreation ground. We already have nets there, etc. So yeah, it's just addition.
Okay.
Yes.
We are agreed. Just a clarification was required. Nothing that might put you in trouble. Right, thank you very much. We're agreed. We have a second Bar Hill application.
so this is page 24, which is the Bar Hill Community Association. You'll remember them from last month. This is the Lego group. They'd like to offer an after-school club at Bar Hill County Primary School based on the first Lego League. Obviously, it was deferred for three reasons really. The first was whether the children attending the club are limited to Bar Hill County Primary School, or whether it's open to all children in years 5 and 6 in Bar Hill. They have come back and said that in the initial instance, it will be limited to year 5 and 6 from that school. Primary school have already been approached with a view to running a similar club in their school too, and I think their plans are to grow to other schools depending on the success. The second point was clarification on who will fund the club going forwards. We've been told that this going forwards would be costing less than £300 a year, and the applicant would work with other schools or these schools to obtain a regular sponsor from local businesses. This is apparently common practice in the Peterborough area. It's what they do. So the bulk of the cost with this application is actually for the initial purchases that we've held in the application. The third point is whether the Lego equipment will be owned by the school at the end of the project, and if so, could this become the property of the Bar Hill Community Association instead? That the equipment will be remain with the applicant, not with the school. They're happy to do that, and that the robots will be loaned out to Bar Hill Primary School and any other schools wanting to participate. So hope that satisfies those concerns. The amount funded or requested was £1,806.74. Thank you.
Right, gentlemen, are you satisfied with the responses you got from your questions? Questions?
I would say so.
I think we are in agreement. Thank you very much. Thank you. That brings this meeting to a close. The next meeting of the Grants Advisory Committee is on Thursday, the 27th of June. We seem to miss out on May. I'm not quite sure why, but we do. And will be held in the chamber at 1 o'clock. Why 1 o'clock? Sorry?
I think the details of the meeting we can discuss further outside of information at this point.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your attendance. Shall we close the live? Yeah.